Okay, so this is part something of this build log, and I've clearly been doing a lot since the last one. You guys saw in the last part, Phil and I put together the Alex desks, and was this even done by the time we ended that video? I think it was. I don't remember.
Yeah, it was.
As you can see, I've done some stuff. So I showed on Twitter some of the things that I've done. You guys were like, oh my God, how'd you do that? And I was like, you can actually do it pretty cheap. I'm gonna show you how I built this glow, I'm calling it glow top, made out of glass, not acrylic, so it's not gonna scratch. How I made this really inexpensive backboard that, yes, I know the TV is not centered height-wise on, I screwed that up, but it's cheap enough to where I can do another one if I want to. So I'll show you guys how we did that, and we're gonna do some other custom stuff today regarding lighting, and I think you guys are gonna hopefully enjoy it. I don't care if you do though, because it's my space, not the website. It's my room,
My space.
and I really like it. That's what matters most.
Looking for a new PC or PC hardware? Then today's sponsor, Micro Center, is guaranteed to have what you need. Micro Center's huge selection of hardware and devices, along with their industry-leading prices, mean you get more for your money this holiday season. With Build Your Own, Micro Center carries the latest in PC tech from all major brands, while passionate, knowledgeable sales staff are available to assist you with your next build. Not comfortable building it yourself? Then certified in-store technicians can build it for you in as little as the same day. To see all that Micro Center has to offer and to find the store closest to you, click the sponsor link in the description below.
Okay, so the desk setup is just like the iconic TechTuber, random Frank P, tech sourced, whoever like else you probably your average consumer I think did one like this. These are just the Carl B tops in the dark walnut color, which is more like an oak, with the cheap Amazon couch feet that I bought to space it up about another 2 inches because I'm tall, so I want them to sit higher. The Alex drawers, lots of them. You can see I've got two side by side right here because I was anticipating putting Nebula on here, which is like nearly 100 pounds. I don't know if I'm gonna use that system anymore in this space. I might end up doing another small form factor build for this area, but I'm completely undecided on that. But you can see it wraps around to here. And I did the same thing on this side, but I have a file cabinet on this half because of the fact that I want to be able to actually put my taxes and stuff in an area, not a cardboard box that I have to go digging through the closet for when my CPA asks for a receipt. So that's besides the point. They don't make this anymore. This cable management piece, this was part of the Gallant series, which has been discontinued a long time ago. I have two of these, one of them still in storage. I held onto these for just such an occasion, and as you can see, they're perfect because I've got my power strip in here. I've got it all cable managed. I'll show you how I did that. And it just screwed to the bottom. Also too, because I didn't want these desks to slide apart, if Phil can kind of come under here, you'll see I went to Home Depot and I went to the fencing section. Not the sword fighting, but you know, where there's fence post material and all the galvanized stuff and bracketry. And I just got this bracket and I screwed 8 screws per bracket, holding them together so they won't separate apart. That way they're perfectly level on the top and they don't move around. So if I slide the desk, it moves as a whole and it's very, very firm. The screws I used are long, so they're probably going halfway into the board. So you can see that there. But because it's elevated like it is, you can see the RGB glow, which is set to white because you can do whatever you want with it, right? Is now causing it to glow up the wall and down. Do I have a scratch in my paint right here? No. I gotta touch that up. That's okay, there's gonna be a lot of touch-ups necessary. So that's how that's done. This is stupid easy. The size of this desk, so each of these Alex drawers were $79 a piece. So that's $320 just in the drawers. The tops were $179 or no, $208 per top, some of that. So you can see this desk was probably gonna be a lot. It wasn't cheap, but I like a lot of desk space because I also want to have, like I said, a laptop and a secondary setup over here. So when I'm monitoring streams or I just want to do something that doesn't involve the desktop, I always have a laptop with me. And so I'm going to probably have other things going on here. I don't know what yet. Let's talk about the thing you guys obviously care about. Oh, and there's a couch because, well, Ultimate Game Room wouldn't have a chill space. So this is a Besta TV stand from IKEA. The cool thing about this is you can configure it how you want. This particular version, I want to say, was just under $400 as configured, but I obviously went with the frosted glass doors that cover the whole sides, and you can obviously see why. I went with the taller one because it's a wall-mounted TV, I wanted to get the entertainment center up high. It's using their stainless steel feet. I had considered doing a wall-mounted one so that it could hang and look cool floating, but that would have been a cable management nightmare. And anytime I need to get behind there to hook something up, taking it off the wall would have been a complete pain in the ass. But I was like, I want to make this custom in some way. And I told Phil, I was like, hey, glass, I could backlight it. And that was the original idea, which led to this. So they sell these glass tops. They're only 25 bucks, which is cool because if it breaks because of my kids and stuff, I dropped it, 3 times in IKEA? Like on the corner, trying to put it on the stupid thing because it's not in a cardboard box when you buy it. It didn't break. So that's a good start. But I went, you know what? Just a glass top on the top is not going to be good enough for me. So I went, how can I make this custom? Well, because I wanted to pull out more wood tones and not have the only wood in this room be the desk and myself, I wanted to make these planks for the back of the TV. Now I'll tell you how I did these in a second, but to pull in more wood tone, I came up with this trim right here. This is just 1x1 birch that you can go to any hardware store and you can buy very, very cheap. And what I did was I just measured it so it was smaller than the table, so I would have a bezel that hangs over with the glass. And then I literally just stapled it with our staple gun, the same compressor that we used to blow up that water cooling loop. So I already had it, but you can get it pretty cheap if you need to, or borrow one. You can even rent one at Home Depot and other places. I just used the 1-inch staples to staple them into themselves. So they're at a 45-degree cut, so they look nice and neat. And then I use these rubber standoffs, these rubber feet that I got from the hardware section to stand it up off the table for 2 reasons. One, without any sort of friction on here or rubber or something, it just kind of slides around. And so I didn't want that. 2, it looks really neat, allowing some of the light to escape between the glass and the bottom. Now I've got 2 different thicknesses on here because I was playing around with this, and I'm gonna be replacing the bottom with a thicker or thinner feet like I've got on the top. Because when I'm sitting on the couch, a lot of the light will leak right in your face because of the edge lit LEDs, which I found to be very distracting and very uncomfortable. So I'm going to be showing you how I made this right now when I take it apart to replace those feet. These wood pieces right here, it only took 2 98-inch or 96-inch, I think, links to do this with plenty left over. That was roughly $20 worth of lumber, if that, probably not even that. And then the rubber feet were $3.95 a package. And then the LED strip on the inside is actually the Philips Hue. Now the Philips Hue strip was 79 bucks. However, you know as well as I do, on Amazon and even now inside like Lowe's and Home Depot, you can get the really inexpensive remote controlled strips for like 30 bucks or even 15 bucks or cheaper on Amazon. So if you didn't want the smart controlled features like I have, like this, like make the glow top blue.
Okay.
So, I mean, I can do that sort of stuff, and if I turn off the light, you'll see it a lot better. Make the TV hutch blue. So, because these are all smart controlled, I can control them through apps, through scenes, and routines. If you don't care about any of that, then you can go with the cheap LED options and have the same effect and just use your remote control to do it. Turn off the TV hutch. So, you give up that functionality with going with the basic stuff, but that's perfectly fine. So if you look at it now, you get a really good idea of what it looks like without any of the lights on. And I really like that. So let's show you what it looks like though when I take it apart. And I think you might realize just how super basic and easy this is. So the stain that I used on here is actually a 1-hour drying interior stain. I think it was called California Oak or something along those lines. And I just basically took the edge molding piece that comes with the table. That way if you cut it, you can stick it on the end because it is a veneer, and just stained it to match. And then this is what it came up with. So although it's birch and not oak, it's not exactly the same grain, but as you can see, it definitely gives us enough of the same effect. And you can see here's the rubber standoffs that I used right there. And in fact, I had gotten these out of an assortment pack because I didn't know exactly what size I needed. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna change these corner ones so that you guys can see how I'm gonna make a little bit less of a gap so that not so much light bleeds. You see, I didn't even stain the bottom. I was like, what's the point? That's called laziness. Now it meant that I can actually set it down and let it dry. And to be, actually took some of the wood up with it. That's sticky. Even though these are both 1x1s, they're not exactly 1x1. So one of them is like a 0.5 millimeter thinner than the others, which made the corners not perfectly flat, like flush. Even though I tried my best, here's a good example right here. So if you come look at this one, you can see that this is taller than this one. So I wouldn't want the glass like rocking. So the rubber piece though, will level that. So another little hack, just go and get these little rubber feet. These are super thin, as you can see. This wood remote control holder, I'm probably gonna get a Harmony remote or something to have a single remote, would slide all over this glass until I stuck those on there. So as you can see, it really sticks on there now. So the TV, which I bought for this room, it's a little overkill, a little expensive. It's LG C9. I got it because of the fact, it's dirty right now too. I got it because of all of its G-Sync capabilities and its super high refresh rate, not refresh rate, but response time gaming. I don't think I'm gonna hook a computer up to this, I never know, but the price of the C9s came down quite a bit. So that's one of the reasons why we included it in here. In fact, my business partner, in his condo in Long Beach, he's got a 75-inch C9 that I installed and wall mounted for him. And after playing some games on it, hooked up to his computer, I played Jedi Fallen Order specifically on it. It was really good. Part of my problems with TVs for the longest time has been the input lag that TVs would inevitably provide. But the OLED being as fast as it is, it being G-Sync compatible and HDMI 2.1 forward compatible, makes it just, it's only gonna mature better, like fine wine with time. So seeing how good the C9 actually was in his space made me have to go with one of these. I was gonna go with an OLED. I was looking at a Sony X950 or X950F, which I have downstairs actually in a 75-inch version. Even though there's a window right behind it, yes, there's glare, but I've had OLEDs for so long now, I'm kind of used to it. I'm used to looking at some of the glare, I kind of look through it. Plus when those blinds are shut, if I put a blackout curtain rod across it that I can close during movies, might even get one of those to control. Might even get one of those smart controlled ones that connects to a rod. So when I tell it, you know, movie time, because it's gonna make all the lights go custom, then it'll just close. This right here, it's not the first time it's been done. In fact, it's quite common for people to do a wood plank wall behind the TV just to get a little bit of class. And like I said, I wanted to pull in more of the wood tones because I've got the grays, I've got the whites. Wood is the warm, inviting tone for this particular game room. I also didn't want to add 5,000 pounds of wood to this wall either. And if I went and got oak planks, which I was planning on doing, single planks all the way across, gluing them together, planing it, making it flat, taking a router, beveling it, it still would have been like 100 pounds of wood. I didn't want that. So what I did instead, I found a single piece of 1/8 inch pine. Is that 1/8? I think it's 1/8 inch. 1/8 inch pine, which is basically one layer of what you would find in like plywood. Only it's a much higher quality piece of wood. I then went to the flooring section and got myself these vinyl stick-on, peel and stick flooring planks in the same color that matched the desk. Then all I did was stagger them and do custom links and cut them, because you can cut them with a razor blade and snap them. Like you score it and it snaps. And then I came up with this. So I haven't done an edge for this yet. I may not do an edge. I might do a white edge. I haven't decided. But the TV is mounted. The only way that this is being held on right now is through the TV mount. You'll see the TV mount is actually squishing it against the wall. The corners, if you look, they're not mounted down, because that particular piece of plywood also didn't warp or curl at all, because it's a higher quality piece of wood. And as you can see, yes, I cable managed behind the TV. I do this on all the TVs I wall mount because I cannot stand, if you can see them, which you can from where Phil's standing, because that's the door, I am not a fan of wires going everywhere. So as you can see, yes, I cable managed that. We've got more to do today though. We've got shelves, and I want to light these shelves as well, just like I've lit my desk. But one of the things I hate, and no offense to anyone that's done this, is when people take their shelves and they put it up on the wall, and then they just stick on some LEDs shining up, and you can see the edge of the LED. To me, that looks super tacky. I'm gonna show you today how on the cheap, stay in there, how on the cheap, you can hide your lights, but get all the lighting effect. As a car guy, this makes me sad. My garage has sort of become the catch-all during all this project because I moved the catch-all out of the old thing. Look, Nizzy's here, filthy and with a battery tender on her, but so many people were convinced I sold her. Nope, she's right there, and she's been driven exactly twice in the last 2 years. At least both of those times were on track. But yeah, so there's the cars and stuff. But that's not why we're here today. These are the inexpensive floating shelves from IKEA. Again, like the most YouTuber-y prerequisite for any sort of a game room is to have these shelves. And the other thing everyone does is they just stick their lighting down to it, call it a day. And then you can see the edge of the lights, and I think it looks absolutely terrible. Like I said, no offense to anyone that may be running that, but maybe with what I'm gonna show you today, you can tweak it a little bit without having to actually cause yourself that much more work, and it will look a million times better, trust me. So this is just L channel. And all we're gonna do is we're gonna cut it down to length. So if this is the side that's against the wall, we are creating this ledge that we can mount the lights to shine up without shining out and into your face. And I went with this because, as you can see, it's a close enough color to where it's not gonna really matter, and then you can clean it and stuff. It is sandable and paintable if you want to. I did get paint in case I needed to. I also think I should cut it with my hacksaw and not my big miter saw, because I don't know if it's not gonna just shatter when the blade hits it. So when this goes on the wall now, you'll have that little lip, the lighting, but the lighting will be behind it. Well, I was using these.
I couldn't take you seriously.
I was using my scratched Oakleys as my safety glasses. So if you have shelf lighting, start doing this. Now, in terms of this super cheap DIY hack, you could hacksaw this if you don't have a miter saw like I have there. I mean, I already had the saw, so why not use it? It didn't splinter the material, which is good, but you could use a hacksaw, even one meant for a metal blade, because this is not very coarse. And you don't need a staple gun like this. You can use just small nails and a hammer like you would use on the backing board on like a piece of IKEA furniture, or the ones that you have to hammer in. So just to kind of do a little bit of a test right now, I'm kind of curious. Oh yeah, look at that. This is a metal blade too. So, and then you would just clean that up with a little bit of sandpaper or a file or whatever. So as you can see, you could totally do that on the super cheap. And then in terms of like the nails and stuff, if you were to just use even like these kind of nails would work. They have shorter ones. You can go to Home Depot and buy them. They're about half that length and they're brown even. So that's the way you could do it if you're like, I don't have those tools. You don't need those tools. They just make them faster. So I figured, since I'm showing you guys right now how I did this, I might as well show you how I did the backing board. So this is the board. It's wet because I just sprayed it. So this is the board right here that is on the wall. Super light. It's just, like I said, a single ply of pine. Plywood would have several layers of this, which makes it heavier. This is what we're gonna be making our walls out of now when we do our next set, because it's way lighter than that stupid particle board that I bought, and cheaper. And if you guys have a lumber shop nearby, you never know, you might be able to find scraps or something. So these are the final strips, as you can see. If you look on the back, feel how tacky that is too. It's like flypaper. So this is it right here. So what we did was we just started in the corner, and I cut this down so that it would hang off so you guys could see how I cut it. Because Phil's like, I want to do that in my apartment. So he's gonna kind of learn as much as he's filming this right now. So I just I lined it up with the edges and made it straight. Most hardware stores that sell wood and stuff, you can ask them to cut it. So I had them cut the big sheet to the size that I wanted, because I don't have a table saw. So I would not have tried to use a straight edge and cut that. It would have never been straight. So they can cut it for you if you don't have the tools, right? So you can stick this on. One of the things we did, my wife and I, she helped me stick it all on. And then when we were done, we just kind of walked all over it, right? To make sure it was all nice and stuck down. And then when you flip it over, you technically would want to score it on the other side, but I'm going to show you how even scoring it on this side isn't so bad.
Dude, it's so clean of a break too. Holy crap. Sick.
So we are clearly getting to the end of this project. So here's the desk lights. Here are the shelf lights. You can see we brought Nebula over. Yep, we decided that I'm probably gonna go ahead and use her, but I also think I need to flush this loop because I forgot that it's just distilled water with no biocide in there, and it's now cloudy. So you can see the shelf lighting turned out really, really good. Here's that channel that I made. We painted the piece right there to sort of match. I didn't put my extension cord channel on the wall yet. I also have one that goes right here for the extension cord that's running to the system, and it's painted to match the wall. It's downstairs in the garage. I didn't grab it yet. So that's where we are going to end part 3, which means by the time we come back and we do part 4, that's going to end up having the grand finale. Also too, this board is starting to curl up off the wall now because it's been raining. We've had the windows open, so there's lots of moisture. So I'm gonna end up going and like using my nail gun to kind of to make it all flat, which I anticipated I would probably have to do at some point. Anyway, that is the end of part 3, and you know we're getting close to the end of the project because, well, it looks like a pretty dope room to me. Yeah, Nebula's not gonna be staying red. That's just our aura just was like, I don't know what to do, red. So we'll take care of all that later, and I'll be flushing all that. I don't know why I went cloudy, but whatever, we'll find out later. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the conclusion. Although you'll probably see a video before that about something else. I don't know what yet.